Hey, thanks for having us here. I'm going to make sure I get our sound effect for you. We are
The Review Guys.
and we have a great show for you today. It's going to be a nice long one. So I hope you have your popcorn ready as we're in for a doozy. We're going to be taking on the big gun today, and that big gun is going to be Twitter. Let's go ahead and full screen it for you. Got a nice long video for you. So we appreciate you being here, taking the time out. Want to welcome you into the channel. And again, we review products. Today we're going to kind of do a software, so to speak. This is like a cloud-based software. Many of you know what Twitter is, but we are going to be diving in. We're going to do a little bit of research on this, as Twitter is such a big proponent of our daily lives, some of the history going on right now, what to expect. So we're going to get right into the screen share. We're going to be here most of the video. So let's go ahead and dial in right now. And here we go. Let's full screen it. And right now we are on Google. And there we go, twitter.com. Let's go down and take a look at top stories. So it looks like Elon Musk and Matt Taibbi set off a debate over release of Twitter files. So Twitter's in the news for a lot of things. Many of you don't know this, but Elon Musk had recently bought Twitter, and it's been a huge deal going forward. So let's talk a little bit about Twitter. Let's first go to Wikipedia, take a look at this. Now, it says Twitter is a micro-blogging social media network service owned by an American company, Twitter Inc., on which users post and interact with messages known as tweets. Now, registered users can post, like, and retweet tweets. Oh, that was very difficult to say. And I need my sound effects, so excuse me if I go back to our sound effects. Oh, here we go. Let's go on an adventure. So go ahead and imagine that there is this social media device or software cloud, which is Twitter. And with this little device or software cloud, we now have the ability to, per se, project our insights and the way we see the world. And that's pretty much what we're doing with Twitter. Now, Twitter has gotten so popular that those with a lot of influence can project ideas, almost like there's a movie called Inception, where you kind of plant an idea in your brain. Twitter can kind of, in a way, do something like that because of its popularity. If only, right? And the way it does that is because we like to play a game of follow the leader as humans. I believe that's kind of my methodology of how things usually go. And you look at those who have the most influence or are really good at being inspirational, those who inspire us. And due to those abilities, when we see something that sounds right, looks right, coming from someone that is inspiring, it often creates the idea for us that maybe we should think the same way. And that's where Twitter has a place that can be, I don't want to say dangerous, but it can be definitely something that moves the needle. So we look at it. Twitter was created by Jack Dorsey. Let's see if there's any information. Here we go. Here's a picture of him. Noah Glass, Biz Stone, and Evan Williams in March of 2006. And it's always fascinating to me that the internet itself is still very young.
Sure.
And I know if you're younger, you're watching this video, that's hard for you to imagine. But keep in mind, the internet has only been here for, we're talking about around 40 years. Take a look at your mom and dad. They were probably born before the internet, if you're watching this video. So the internet is still very young. A lot of these companies are still very young. The ones that you use and we use and are the most influential companies in the world, they're barely a teenager in age. So looks like by 2012, more than 100 million users have posted 340 million tweets a day. The service handled an average of 1.6 billion search queries a day. So Twitter was highly searched, highly used. In 2013, it was one of the top 10 most visited websites and has been discussed as the SMS of the internet. Now, by the start of 2019, Twitter had more than 330 million active users. Now, there's always going to be a problem. So it looked like in 2020, fake accounts were estimated to make up for 15% of Twitter's total accounts, 48 million accounts. Why would people make fake accounts? Well, when you have the opportunity to provide influence to the level that Twitter was providing, it makes sense that people would want to capitalize on that idea. So to make fake accounts was a way to move the pendulum in their direction. If they get a lot of people, again, we're talking about the game of follow the leader. If everyone's following this message, you get enough people to co-sign and social proof on that message, it's only a matter of time before you start to second guess your own opinions and start to follow the leader yourself. So that's where the idea of fake accounts has been a problem, but it makes a lot of sense why people did it in the first place. Now, it says on April 25th, 2022, Twitter board of directors agreed to a $44 billion buyout by Elon Musk, making it one of the biggest deals to take a company private. So now Elon Musk, we got to image him. For those who don't know what Elon Musk looks like, that's the image I use all the time when I do my Elon Musk. And I want to make sure, one second, I want to make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, just to double check. Yes, you are. You're seeing on the images. Okay, let me go back to the screen. Yes, so Elon Musk, for those who don't know who Elon Musk is, he is the world's richest man. He is the CEO of multiple companies, most notably Tesla. And now he is the owner of Twitter. Now, he's moving in a very massive direction, and we are going to get to some of that, but I don't want it to be hearsay. I would like for it to be just facts based off of research and the data that we have collected. So we're going to try to keep our opinions out of this and just lay out the public information that we have and leave it up to you to make a decision. We're not going to go over the whole Wikipedia. I think that would be boring for you. Instead, I have some very optimal research tools. This is one I use a lot. It's called Cite. This gives the ability to help me out with finding information. I can ask a question, which is a beta performance of it. So this is going to help me with some peer-reviewed research, and I can't wait to dive into this. And I'm going to make sure that, we got the recording going well. So are you ready? Nope. Let's try that again. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. So I asked, is Twitter safe? We looked at the first article that came up. These two characteristics alone, Twitter users to become exposed to a more diverse crowd and receive information on a more timely matter and from diverse sources. Twitter, therefore, is perceived as a much less safe environment, with research showing that many groups suffer aggression and harassment for expressing their views. This is a citation by Mulger, and their article where they address this is tweetment effects on the tweeted, experimentally reduced racist harassment. So we got some published data going on here, and it looks like this has been recited a multiple amount of times. So this article is taking a lot of traction. So we can confidently take a look at this. I mean, it's within the last year or so that this article is published, and this one is getting some movement. Looks like supporting statements. This article doesn't have a whole lot with it. Number of contrasting statements, 0. And the one by Mulger, let's see, supporting statements. We got another article that supports this. None contrasting. Number of publications citing this work. So we got this article cited by 195 other publications. And then we look at this article, the number of citation statements mentioning this work is 143. So you look at an article like this one, and it looks like it can stand on its own as a very powerful article, at least in the literature. Let's go ahead and see if we can get more information on this. And Our friend Google Scholar will help us out with this. So I'm going to jump on screen while we get ready for Google Scholar, and let's just talk a little bit briefly. Take a moment to think about what you have thoughts on this so far. We're about 10-15 minutes into the video. We're talking about Twitter. We're talking about how the current climate of it is. It's now owned by a billionaire, the world's richest man. And before we get more into some of these articles, I would like to know Elon Musk's motivation. So let's go ahead and type in why Elon bought Twitter. And once we get some results, I'm going to share the screen so we can read this together. Okay, it looks like we got some stuff. And let's go ahead and take a look at the screen. Always takes a second. And full screen for you. Let's go on an adventure. Absolutely. Let's look at this together. He's been trying to disintermediate ACH his whole career. She said, referring to the money transfer network run by banks. Longview's Musk's Twitter play as a reincarnation of Libra, which sought to provide crypto wallets to Facebook, more than 1 billion users. Okay, now this says the real reason Elon Musk bought Twitter. I would like to know his reasoning. I would like to hear his own words, at least. Now you can take it or leave it, but it's always nice to hear what he said. Okay, statement starts off. The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important for the future. Let's go ahead and open that article up. I don't know if this is an article per se, but created this whole nightmare. So you look at the title of this article by John Schwartz, who wrote this a little over a month ago. And he definitely has an interesting take on this. By buying Twitter, Elon Musk has created his own nightmare. Musk will likely ruin Twitter for one specific user, himself. Okay, let's go ahead and, he looks a little stressed out in that picture. Let's go ahead and take a look at his statement, why he bought Twitter in the first place. The statement starts off promising with a blatant lie. Now, again, this is information from John Schwartz. We don't know how true this is. This is his personal writing. I don't know how factual it is. Let's see. The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important for the future of civilization to have a common digital town square. Musk apparently believes that no one will remember that until 3 weeks ago he was desperately trying to not to buy Twitter. The only real reason he did is because he is about to lose Twitter's lawsuit to force him to buy it. This may be the greatest "you can't fire me because I quit" moment in history. Okay, interesting. Now, from his words, though, it looks like there's a quote here that he wants future civilization. It's important for the future of civilization to have a common digital town square. Usually when you have a town square, we have the time for this. Let's go ahead and Google search town square. We know what town square means probably, but, for the sake of argument, let's talk a little bit about it. An open area commonly found in the hearts of a traditional town used for community gatherings. Let's take a look at this a little further. Okay. So when we think about what a town square is and what it means to have a town square, we're really looking at the idea that you have a community of people together. It looks like they're discussing ideas, community gatherings. Let's go ahead and I wanted to get this gatherings, community gatherings, a meeting, a get together, a group of people, things. Let's see if we can get community gatherings while we're here. Okay, so I got it right up here. What are community gatherings? It's where you gathered people together and really shape the experience and where your idea comes to life. They also provide an opportunity for play, events that can take place of all sorts of formats. It can range from short 2-hour morning catch-up to a day-long gathering with sessions and breakout groups. So let's see. When Elon Musk says this, a common digital town square. So it looks like a place where people can discuss ideas is kind of what he's looking for, what he's meaning when he talks about what it means to not be a part of a Twitter that is lacking this type of town square community gathering type of approach. So it looks like he's trying to do good by this from what he's saying. Let's take a look a little bit more about what the research is saying when it comes to Twitter, because this is all very fascinating stuff, and it'd be good for us to really take a look at what the facts are saying. So we have here, is Twitter safe? Let's go ahead and open up this article. Now it says, does the social media platform, does the platform matter? Excuse me. Now, social media and COVID-19 conspiracy theory beliefs in 17 countries. Okay. And let's see if we can view the full text. This is going to be a maybe, so we're trying to find out. And absolutely, we have an abstract. Now, it says, why the role of social media in the spread of conspiracy theories have received much attention. A key deficit in previous research is the lack of distinct platforms. The study places the role of, we always have information. The study places the role of social media affordances and facilitating the spread of conspiracy beliefs at the center of its equity. We examine the relationship between platform use and conspiracy theory beliefs related to COVID-19 pandemic. Let's go ahead and see what it has to say about Twitter. And maybe even more importantly, Elon Musk. Now, the main purpose of the study is to investigate the relationship between social media platform use and conspiracy theory beliefs related to COVID-19's pandemic. We're focusing on 5 different social media platforms: Messenger, WhatsApp, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Okay. Now, the comparison of Facebook's symmetrical relationships with Twitter's asymmetrical ones is instructive for understanding how ties are established and how information coming may be perceived. Okay, so it looks like there's some sort of analysis between the two. Now, information is more easily diffused in small and dense networks of mutual relationships. Okay, such of these are people build close relations with high school friends on Facebook and Messenger systems. Now, things are different in larger, open-ended asymmetrical networks, such as people established with celebrities, politicians, journalists on Twitter. Okay, so now we're talking about the larger, open, one-directional, asymmetrical networks that aren't necessarily Messenger. Now, this is where you're going to have your celebrities, politicians, and journalists really push and bruise through with their influence. Now, such networks are often fragmented and impede the efficient circulation of information and strategic communication. Now, we talked about earlier the 15% of all Twitter accounts as of 2020 were fake accounts or bots. So they had to clean a lot of that up, which is still a process. That accounted for about 48 million of the 330 million active accounts. So it looks like there's a big, and this is not my opinion, we read this together, there's a big wealth of strategy to be influential. Let's go ahead and continue. A Twitter or YouTuber's theoretical audience is the entire user base of the platform, making most user connections weak, one-dimensional, and without any reliance on in-person contact. Symmetrically, they can have consequences for conspiracy theories. So now we're talking a little bit more about conspiracy theories. Let's see if we can find some more literature background on the platform itself, because again, this is a a pretty healthy article, and it's got some heavy hitters in the research. So hopefully we can find some more information. Okay, now these findings bring Facebook Messenger services like WhatsApps in contrast to asymmetrical follower-based platforms like Twitter, where most exchanges between users take place publicly and with strangers. Moreover, why people do get exposed to cross-cutting political content on platforms like Facebook, content on Facebook and Messenger services is in principle more likely to come from social homogeneous sources than on Twitter. So when we are talking about Twitter, there is a difference between things like Facebook, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp, because now we're talking about an asymmetrical follower-based platform. That means it's more likely to be open source and public interactions with strangers. This is a breeding ground now, from what the research is saying, for influential figures, politicians, celebrities to make statements and provide a level of education or influence based off of what they're saying. So what they're saying in this article, because this article is looking into conspiracy theories, is that you have a platform like Twitter, which is going to be one of the more well-known platforms that is large and more adapt for stranger interaction. There is a high likelihood that information from a politician or celebrity is going to have a bigger impact on Twitter than maybe on Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, these other big social media platforms. So let's go ahead and continue. Okay, here we go. We have a lot of information here about Twitter. WhatsApp, for example, provides a intimate, controlled, safe environment for discussion. Twitter's asymmetrical follower structure, however, means that it fundamentally operates on a weak tie social networks, which allow users to be exposed to heterogeneous cross-cutting political views and information. Okay. Still, compared to Facebook's social focus, the main purpose of using Twitter is to get news and get in touch with knowledge networks. These two characteristics allow Twitter users to become exposed to a more diverse crowd and receive information in a more timely manner and from more diverse sources. Let's continue on with this article. Twitter, therefore, is perceived as a much less safe environment, with research showing that many groups suffer aggression and harassment for expressing their views. Okay, so now we are getting pretty heavy into what we can look at Twitter and know as factual research-based information. Now, this is an article. Again, let's take a look at the dates. This article was published in 2021 before Elon Musk had bought Twitter. And the message of this article was to look at conspiracy theory beliefs across 17 countries and see which social media platforms are susceptible to some of these issues. And it looks like Twitter is one of the big issues that have come from this. We're seeing that because it is a place where most people go to it to gather their news and also to get cross-cutting political views, that there is a incentive for powerful people, powerful figures, politicians, celebrities, whoever, to use the platform for their own strategic will. And right here, this is the statement that really draws our attention. Twitter, therefore, is perceived as a much less safe environment, with research showing that many groups suffer aggression and harassment for expressing their views. So there's a levels of censorship going, at least in the form of aggression and harassment. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Now, a study focusing on engagement and interest on pandemic shows that Twitter had the most neutral context compared to Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, and Gab, with a different study concluding that disinformation outlets are largely ignored by Twitter audience and playing a peripheral role in online political discussion. Likewise, a study by Singh observed that the proportion of tweets which included shared URLs containing misinformation or myths about the pandemic was small. One reason might be that Twitter's environment offers quicker and sharper public scrutiny, leading to faster fact checking and publicly disputing the misconception more than these other platforms. Okay, so there is some good news there. It looks like there has been largely an acknowledgement of the repercussions to this, because Twitter is an asymmetrical source for news and information. It looks like there is an attempt to get a heterogeneous of information from both sides, and because of that, they are doing better than some of these other social media platforms, at least compared to Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, and Gab. Okay, so we got a lot of good information there. Let's go ahead and go back to why Elon Musk said he wanted to buy Twitter. And, that's a very biased article. Let's see if we can go and find some more quotes. Now we have this October 27th, 2022. Now this is by BBC. Elon Musk claims he is buying Twitter to help humanity. And it's got a quotation, so it looks like that's an exact quote for what he said. Let's dig and find out what he actually said versus what is paraphrased. Now, in a tweet, Mr. Musk said he didn't buy a firm to make more money. I did it to help humanity, whom I love. So that's an actual quote from what Elon has said himself. The entrepreneur, until Friday, complete his deal. Now, this is talking about the details of the deal. We already know that it's closed. He is the owner. The deal did go through. Twitter cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything could be said with no consequences. He also said the platform must adhere to the laws of the land. So it looks like there is some incentive for Elon to not let Twitter get out of hand. Looks like there is a need for free speech, at least on his part. We see here. When Mr. Musk first revealed plans to buy Twitter, he said he wanted to clean up spam accounts on the platform and preserve it as a venue for free speech. But Mr. Musk, the world's richest man and a prolific Twitter user known for his impulsive style, balked at the purchase just a few weeks later, citing concerns that the number of fake accounts on the platform was higher than Twitter had claimed. All right, so a lot of information to digest right here. So I wanted to hit a couple sound effects because I know this is an interesting conversation we are having about Twitter. Look at this image. Come on, Elon. Don't be weird. I don't know what he's... Oh, yeah, this is the kitchen sink moment where he was bringing in the... he said, let's see, arrives at Twitter headquarters with a kitchen sink. Yeah, let's take a look at this, actually. Let's look at this. I don't know the whole story about this. Let's take a peek at it. And let's check it out.
Sure.
So Elon Musk, the world's richest man, turned up at Twitter headquarters in San Francisco Wednesday to the court. This is backdated to October 27th, 2022. Would say with a kitchen sink entering Twitter HQ. Let that sink in, he tweeted, with the court ordered deadline for his $44 billion to buy the social media platform. I think the coolest thing about this image, and I'm indifferent about Elon personally, is the black shirt, because I wear a lot of black shirts, as you guys see. Let me jump on camera for a second. And yeah, you can see I like to keep it nice and plain, and I got my black shirt. So I think that's the funniest thing, and also the account that he's got a chain. So that's pretty interesting in itself that he's wearing a chain. So we're gonna share the screen, and at this point of the this episode that we're doing here on Twitter, we're gonna focus about into some other questions that we had. So let's come up with a few together. Now we had, is Twitter safe? I would like to know the influence of Twitter. How about we type this as, what is the influence? I hope I'm spelling this right. Good. You see, it's hard for me to reach over the screen and type, of Twitter. This is so cool that I have this ask a question feature. I mean, this is amazing. All right. The conclusions of this work are that Twitter reports what customers feel about the brand and its competitors, and customer brand perceptions and purchasing decisions are influenced by social media services. Okay, that is the 4 dimensions of social media network analysis from 2020. This article looks like it's it doesn't have a whole lot of other mentions. Let's go ahead and keep going. Is the voter only a tweet away? Microblogging during the 2009 European Parliament election campaign in the Netherlands. So we don't really, as Americans, I know we have a hard time focusing on other countries and what they're doing. So this is a beautiful article. Now, this has 42 different types of publications citing this work. This also has 4 supporting citation statements about this work, pretty popular. This has 36 mentions of this work. So a lot of information. Number of contrasting citation statements about this work, 0. So it looks like there's a lot of information. Let's go ahead and read. This study explores the use of Twitter by candidates, in particular their networking and microblogging activities in the election campaign for the European Parliament elections of the 2009 Netherlands election. Wow, pretty interesting to find that out. Let's go ahead and continue on, and then if we can get an article we really like, maybe we'll click on it. So this is by Plus One, reputable source. Astrophysicist controversial connections on Twitter. Now that sounds pretty interesting. We have 1 supporting citation on that statement. 38 publications restating this statement, and 23 mentions of this work. Okay, so let's go ahead and just go to the bold. Interestingly, the analysis of the noun phrases and hashtags showed that when the astrophysicists addressed the different groups of very different professional composition, they use very similar terminology, but that they do not talk to each other, i.e. mentioning other users' name and tweets. The results also show that in those areas of the ego networks that tweeted more, the sentiment of the tweets tended to be closer to neutral, connecting frequent tweets with information, sharing activities rather than conventions, or expressing opinions. Okay, let's backtrack because I'm a little lost what they're trying to say there. We might have to read it again. That doesn't usually happen with me when I look at articles. So even I'm struggling with this if you are too. Okay, we found that astrophysicists communicate with a variety of user types, colleagues, scientific communicators, other researchers, and educators, and that in the ego networks of the astrophysicists, clear groups consisting of users with different professional roles can be distinguished. Interesting, the analysis of noun phrases and hashtags showed that when the astrophysicists address the different groups of very different professional compositions, that they use very similar terminology, but that they do not talk to each other, mentioning their usernames and tweets. I don't understand exactly what they're saying. I would like to open this one up and kind of see if we can get some feedback about it, because it is interesting. Because Twitter and other social medias are increasingly used for analysis based off of our metrics, this research sought to understand what context, affordance use, and social media activities influence the tweeting behavior of astrophysicists. Thus, the presented study has been guided by 3 research questions that consider the influence of astrophysicists' activities, publishing and tweeting frequency, and their tweet construction and affordances. Okay, so their use of hashtags, language, and emotion. That's kind of what we're talking about. So they apparently are using some level of okay, let's look at the results. The results also show that in those areas of the ego network that tweeted more, the sentiment of the tweets tended to be closer to neutral. Okay, that did not talk to each other, mentioning other usernames and tweets. Okay, so it looks like they just have a very interesting way of communication. Let's go ahead and move on. Studies have considered the use of Twitter in emergency situations. Wow. Okay. They have monitored whether social networks such as Twitter are used in emergency situations at all, and if so, what communication strategies are used to inform the public, how the public and emergency authorities communicate with each other, whether information via Twitter actually has real influence on the migration of emergency situations, and much more. Now, this was done quite a bit of time ago. It's got one publication citing this work. Let's load a couple more, and then let's take a look at our time, and then we will move on to our next objective. In a Twitter sphere, customers are prone to be influenced by the behaviors and practices of other users. Okay. So here we have another article. This one's 10 years old, talking about how Twitter customers are prone to be influenced by the behavior and practices of other users. So again, we talked about follow the leader. If we can get a little bit of that follow the leader activity going, then Twitter users will be more prone to make decisions. So definitely for those with the fake accounts and stunting, trying to appeal to be a certain way, that definitely has a ability to influence, as clear as this article is saying. Okay. Recent studies on the disaster messages on Twitter focus mainly on investigating what information, more specific message topics are communicated via Twitter, and how such topics in disaster tweets influence resharing behaviors in the event of a natural disaster. So again, we are talking about with respect to a natural disaster. The stream of research has reported that Twitter users in affected areas tend to post eyewitness accounts and first-hand footage of events to support the development of situational awareness. This is of 2020, the impact of language on retweeting during acute natural disasters, and certainly reduction in language expectancy perspectives, All right, so it looks like there is a lot of research that talks about the influence that Twitter has. It's a real thing. This has been studied. Again, 0 articles that are contrasting. This has 11 mentions of the citation about this work. This also has 10 publications citing this work. All right, so a lot going on here. Let's go ahead and get ready for our next question. All right, so I think we should go to another big gun question. Does Elon Musk influence, take out the influence Twitter, take out the of. This is embarrassing, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a little slow today. Here we go. Are you sure? Yes, this is just a thing for today. All right. So does Elon Musk influence Twitter? All right. We got an article from 2022, analysis of Bitcoin's price spike in context of Elon Musk's Twitter activity. This is insane. Originally valued, this paper proposes an understanding of how social media influencers like Elon Musk affect the discourse around Bitcoin and can in turn have an impact on the Bitcoin price. Very interesting. My birthday is January 29th. Kind of cool to see this. Elon Musk's bio change on Twitter on January 29th increased the tweet volume mentioning Bitcoin. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We got a couple citations with this, some statements mentioning this work, and some publications citing this work. So that article got some traction. The findings suggest that Musk's tweet can influence the cryptocurrency market, and many people believe that Musk's diction can dominate the market. Interesting. So another article. Now this talks about whether cryptocurrency is a tool or investment, and it talks about how this man, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, has the ability to move the needle. For example, Elon Musk has admitted the tweet about Dogecoin was a joke, but considering the wealthiest person in the world claims this, nobody doesn't take it seriously. Yes, when you are the richest man in the world, you do have a public responsibility to be careful what you say. I believe, is this a legal responsibility? No, but it is a moral responsibility because you are going to be someone that moves the needle. And we can talk about that next. do I would, that's such an obvious. I want to put, do rich people move the needle, but that's a very obvious answer. Let's take a look at this third one: communication and logistic trends in Elon Musk's personal branding based on Twitter publications in 2020. The study reveals Twitter to be a powerful branding source as it has wide outreach and real-world repercussions and global significance. Okay. The research proves that Elon Musk's personal brand is consistent, competitive, and shows high resistance to the attacks of adversities on its status and to various challenges that could undermine its authority. The paper traces how Elon Musk uses his Twitter account to present himself as a visionary for space colonization and roboticism, which is, again, very, very interesting information. We see how to reinforce his image, charisma, influencer as a businessman who appreciates real talent, does not distance himself from the common people and popular culture. So this talks about how Elon Musk uses the idea of his brand to look like the everyday guy. When I was a kid, I was a child actor and model. And I remember being in high school, and it was a very interesting time because for me at that time, I was really focused on not getting too big as far as like lifting weights, so I can play specific roles that may need me to be more of a smaller guy. But I also wasn't too small, so that meant I can play roles where I was a jock or a football player or a basketball player or some sort of popular kid in high school. So I used to say I got to look like the every guy, which is a little bit right on the cusp of looking a little bit more muscular, but not too muscular. It's a very interesting line to toe. So it sounds like Elon's trying to do something very similar. All right. A lot of good information on here. Let's go to citation statements. Okay. And here we will take a look at some of these results. Does Elon Musk influence Twitter? Let's just take out the does now that we're going into citation statements. Here we go. And we got far more results. Okay. Elon Musk Twitter account. Therefore, many studies, connection between Musk tweets. We talked about that. The Dogecoin image tweet of Elon Musk and those prices went up. Interesting. Okay. Here we talk about Twitter and influence financial markets, such as Elon Musk make comments regarding specific cryptocurrency, resulting in wild value fluctuations. Yep. Let's take a look at maybe one more. Okay. While hackers assume a considerable part in a contemporary society, a current instance of hacking of the Twitter accounts of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, the hackers tweeted promising to double the Bitcoin so that people would surrender to the Bitcoin addresses posted. Oh, very scary, very interesting. The role of social media forensics and digital forensics. So it looks like the level of digital social media impact from devices such as Twitter is extremely high. I mean, it moves the needle in cryptocurrency. The biggest cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's so big that it has its own notch of cryptocurrency, to the fact that any other cryptocurrency that's not Bitcoin is called altcoin, the alternative to Bitcoin. And Elon Musk can move that needle just by a tweet on Twitter. And now he owns Twitter. But if we are going to look and believe the own words of Elon Musk himself, he believes, from his words, the reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important for the future of civilization to have a common digital town square. So he's looking for people to have a place where they can talk, and really, really express themselves. It looks like he's not coming from a place of trying to take over or control. He even said, and we talked about this earlier, he's not looking for money. He's looking to have some sort of setup where people can really record themselves and express themselves in free speech. So, with that, I'm going to jump on screen. All right. So, what do I have to say about this? This has been a very, very interesting, insightful discussion that we've been having. And as I stop sharing the screen and jump back on, a few things that I would like to, let's bring the mic up. A few things I would like to talk about when it comes to this stuff. First off, we got this character, Elon Musk, richest man in the world. This guy's got a lot of pizzazz. He's young still. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a smile. He knows how to tell a joke, how to take a joke, but he also seems to have an understanding that he does move the needle. He's got some sort of moral coding, at least in what he's trying to say, that he understands the importance of a digital town square. To quote his words, he also says that he cares about human nature and future civilizations, and that he doesn't need more money. He's sure, couldn't help myself. But he's saying, and these are his words, I am not trying to put words in his mouth. I might paraphrase here or there, but I'm going to try to be very careful because I want to make sure I get this right. He's saying that he's doing this for the greater good. Maybe that's something we should look into. I actually am thinking of something. Let's share the screen one more time. And I want to really dive into why exactly he's buying Twitter. I think that would be interesting to see. And before we wrap this video and we can give a full thorough analysis, let's take a look into exactly why Elon is saying he's buying Twitter. He's saying that he believes that we need a digital town square. But what's wrong with Twitter that's forcing Elon to buy? That's what I would like to find out. All right, so we are back on Wikipedia, and let's go on an adventure. Yes, let's take a look at what some of this information has to say. We're looking at about April 25th, 2022. This is where negotiations for Musk were led. The deal would require a shareholder, blah, blah, blah. We are not necessarily looking in the deal. He said his first goal would be to make the algorithm that ranks tweets in the context feed open source in an effort to increase transparency. So it looks like he really wanted to get a handle on transparency. He also stated that he intended to remove spam bots. For those who don't know what spam bots are, it's a computer program designed to assist in sending spam. Spam bots usually create accounts and send spam messages with them. Web hosts and website operators have responded by banning spammers, leading to an ongoing struggle between them and spammers. Okay. And to authenticate all real humans, suggesting that he might convert Twitter's San Francisco headquarters into a homeless shelter. Musk said he lacked confidence in Twitter's corporate management. And this is the administration of an organization within a business, a nonprofit organization, or a government body. It is the art and science of managing resources of a business. Elon did not have confidence in Twitter's corporate management, telling the banks that he had considered reducing executive and board pay. He published tweets critical of decisions made by Twitter executives such as Gotti. There's an image. And this is a little bit about her background. An American attorney, served as general counsel, headed legal policy, trusted at Twitter, and her trust at Twitter. Her role handled issues such as harassment, misinformation, harmful speech. Okay, so this is a big deal here. He published tweets critical of decisions made by Twitter executives such as Gotti, and she had a role included in handling issues such as harassment, misinformation, and harmful speech. She is known for her involvement in decisions and policies taken by Twitter. So she's well known for being someone who handles the HR issues at Twitter, it looks like. And also, I shouldn't necessarily say HR. I should say exactly what this is: harassment, misinformation, and harmful speech. And he was critical of that. She was subsequently harassed by Twitter users using racist and sexist language. Now, on the 28th, Twitter told advertising agencies that their work would not be seen next to offensive material. Okay, so it looks like ad agencies had work seen next to offensive material, or we don't know. Musk also discussed with bankers the idea of cutting jobs and costs, encouraging influencers to be creative, and adding subscription services to Twitter. We know that Instagram has things like this. YouTube has membership services of subscriptions, definitely Patreon. So it looks like Elon is trying to evolve Twitter into having some of those details as well. Okay, let's go ahead and continue, see if there's any more information. A little bit of the attempted hold, attempted withdrawal. Okay, revival and closure. Completion of purchase. Okay. They closed the deal. Musk immediately became Twitter's new owner, promptly firing. This is normal. When there's an acquisition or a merger, you usually have quite a bit of layoffs. It's never funny, but it is funny to see immediately became Twitter's new owner, promptly firing. It's funny to see that he fired and put his own people in. That's usually what happens. Okay. You can see a lot of executives dismissed for cause, and that the company had been mismanaged. A lot of payouts, golden parachute sums. It looks like a lot of money paid out, and definitely Dorsey retained his $1 billion ownership stake. Several other executives departed Twitter in ensuing days. Okay. Musk assumed the position of CEO, emerging as a company with X Holdings. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the initial reforms post-acquisition. So October 27th, Musk announced a content moderate council. Diversified viewpoints would be established into the platform's content policy and declare a moratorium and a major content decisions of account reinstatements until then. The council was never formed. Interesting, with Musk claiming that it was part of a deal he made with activists, which they allegedly dishonored. Okay. I don't see quotes on that, but it looks like a paraphrase. He also signaled his intention to do away with lifetime account suspensions. That's pretty big. So there have been suspensions of Twitter users, most notably our former president. And it looks like Elon had decided that he has intention to do away with lifetime account suspensions and unban, I can't read today, unban those suspended for minor or dubious reasons. Now, who decides what's a minor or dubious reason? That's going to be interesting to find out. He is the CEO, so he's going to have a lot of leeway and say over that, though we can already understand and project. So I guess we will see what happens there.
Sure.
Okay. Now let's go down a little bit more. This is where it looks like it gets a little bit more juicy, which was later. Let's go back a little. October 30th, technology newsletter platform reported that Twitter would require users to purchase a Twitter Blue subscription in order to retain their blue check marks, indicating they are verified on the platform. I recently just learned what a blue check mark is. Twitter verification is a system intended to communicate with the authenticity of a Twitter account. When introduced in June 2009, the system provided the site readers with a means to distinguish genuine, notable account holders, such as celebrities or organizations. Okay, but when they delayed, let's go ahead and go back there. Twitter Blue subscription order reclaimed their blue check marks, rolling out November 5th. But when they delayed until after the U.S. Midterm elections due to concerns about potential election interference, Twitter's trust and safety teams opposed the change. Musk ordered Twitter employees to revamp multiple aspects of the program by the end of the week, enlisting employees from other companies such as Tesla, a Boeing company, and Neuralink. as well as investors Kalaskinis and Krishnan. Okay. To meet these deadlines, many Twitter staffs were directed to extend working hours November 1st. Musk told civil rights activist groups he would not alter Twitter's content policies prior to the midterms, later adding that Twitter accounts banned prior to the acquisition would not be unbanned until at least after then as well. So it looks like he wasn't trying to change too much as far as some of the banning issues, but he was definitely changing a lot when it comes to management. And he had a lot of ideas when it comes to, it looks like most importantly to him, verification and the ability to unban. He's just taking his time when it comes to this. One of Musk's early priorities was to review the hate speech policy that prohibited targeted misgendering or dead naming of transgender individuals. Okay, Twitter relaxed its restrictions on hate speech overall, and in late November, Vanity Fair said the policy protecting trans people was now effectively dead. So Vanity Fair had come out and made that statement. And it looks like Elon's going to be probably running into some pushback about how he's handling some of the hate speech policy. It definitely looked like it was important to him to relax. It doesn't necessarily seem like he's coming from a place of wanting to see hate speech. It looks like under his guidelines, he is saying he wants verified people on the platform, number one. And from what he's saying, this is what it looks like from what I'm reading. Number two, it looks like he doesn't want what he considers people banned for, let's find it. I believe it was dubious reasons or minor or dubious reasons. He wants to take away lifetime account suspensions and unban those suspended for minor or dubious reasons. To whom we consider those minor or dubious reasons, that's going to be interesting. So it looks like we have a pretty high stakes situation when it comes to influence with Twitter. Elon Musk seems to understand that, and he seems to have a specific right here. It says revamp verification program. He has a specific program he wants to do. He wants to unban specific accounts that he considers banned for dubious or minor reasons. Now, let's go down. He unbanned accounts later that month, beginning with Jordan Peterson, Kathy Griffin, the Balon B, and former U.S. President Donald Trump. Many anti-fascist accounts were suspended following the acquisition, with left-wing activists accusing Twitter of being biased. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. Now, this is big. November 23rd, Twitter announced it would no longer enforce its policy banning misinformation regarding COVID-19. Very big. That's something you just kind of have to sit and take in for a minute. We'll have to see exactly how that goes. But as we know, misinformation surrounding COVID-19 has been a big deal to the world. So it looks like Elon is really relaxing on the misinformation portion, but he's also very much hyper on the verification and deletion of spam bots. So it sounds like and I'm going to jump back on screen here and try to paraphrase what I think we are reading. It sounds like what's happening is that he's trying to create a platform where people can have some sort of town square community gathering and speak. He doesn't want people banned unless there's a very extreme reasons or non-dubious or major reasons to be banned. And he's relaxing on the policies of hate speech. So maybe he felt the policy of hate speech were too high or too strict. So it looks like he's really stepping into the role of trying to relax some of these policies, but also crank up the policies of verification. So as long as we know who you are and what you're saying, you have the right to say it. You have the freedom to say it without being banned. That said, we need to know who you are and not just be anonymous behind a keyboard. That's kind of what it seems like I'm reading. But we would love to get your comments. So definitely like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and we would love to hear what you have to say about it. It's been a pleasure discussing these ideas with you. It's been a lot of fun. We are the Review Guys. Thank you for being here, and we'll catch you in the next one.